Hey, what's up? Welcome back to this new video. This one is paper 2-3 of October-November 2022 for Add Math. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the questions that I have for you today. Let's move on to question number 1. So here we have to solve this inequality. So first thing first, let's expand these both sides, this one and this one. So this will become 2x times this will become 2x squared minus 8x, right? And then plus 3 times this should become plus 3x minus 12. More than 3x times this, that should become 3x squared minus 3x, then plus 4x minus 4. Simplify. Let's see what happens. Now these two here will be simplified to minus 5, and this will become plus x. Now send everything to one side, right? So here we have 2 minus 3 should become minus x squared. Minus 5 minus should be minus 6. Minus 12 plus 4 should become minus 8. Okay. Now, of course, I don't like to work with minus sign over here. So what can we do? We can divide by minus 1 everywhere. That will become x squared plus 6x plus 8 is less than 0. So when you divide by minus sign, the sign here will change to the other side. So once you have this, we have to find the critical values of that equation. So basically take the same equation, right, and equate that to 0 to find the critical values. Now, what is this? This is a quadratic equation. We can factorize, or you can use your formula to solve this. It's up to you, right? Now let me try using the factorization method. X squared is x times x. Now 8 is 1 times 8, or 2 times 4. Now, which pair do you want to choose? You can try this one, right? Makes sense. Try this pair. 2 and 4, as you can see, plus 2 and plus 4 will give you plus 6, so we're good to go. This is the right factorization. Now again, if you guys don't know how to factorize, you can always use the formula. So finally here we have x plus 2 equal to 0, x plus 4 equal to 0. The value will be x equal to minus 2, x equal to minus 4. So we have these two are the critical values of that equation. Then using this, let's find the solution. So we have to use a number line here. This is minus 4 over here, right? And then minus 2, because minus 4 happens before minus 2. This is 0 here. Now, because the coefficient of x squared is 1, it is positive. We understand the shape of the curve is a minimum curve. We'll have a shape something like this. Right. Now, we need this to be less than 0. Less means below 0, right? As you can see, below have to be between those two. Therefore, your answer will be x values between the value of minus 4 and minus 2. And this is your answer for question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have a tangent to the curve. This one is a tangent to the curve. Okay. At the point, so this is my curve, by the way. This is the curve, y equal to ax squared minus 5x plus 2. At the point x equal to 2, has equation this. Okay, so if I have a curve, for example, let's say this is my curve, and I have the equation of a tangent here, for example. So this equation here is y equal to 7x plus b. And this one obviously is a curve, which is this one, right? Y equal to ax squared minus 5x plus 2. Now we have to find the values of a and b. So how would you find this? So we understand that they meet at this point of x equal to 2. Right, so let's proceed. So if they meet, how do we do this? If they meet at that point, we understand that this value have to be equal to this value. So we solve simultaneously, right? If they meet, anytime when you have something that meets, intersect, or they cross each other, we have to understand they have to have the same x and y value. Therefore, we solve them by using the simultaneous equation. So here we have y, so 7x plus b is y here is equal to ax square minus 5x plus 2. Okay. Now this happens when x is the value of 2. So replace, you will have 14 here plus b, that will be 4a minus 10 plus 2. So rearrange, you will have b is equal to 4a. That should become the value of minus 8 minus 14. That should be b is 4a minus 22. My equation number 1. Okay. So what else can we derive? What other equation we can derive from this? Now, we did understand that this is the tangent to the curve. Now, what is a gradient of tangent? It is the value over here, right? By comparison, y equal to mx plus c. We understand that the gradient of tangent is a value of 7. Now, we also understand how do you usually find the gradient of tangent. We usually will use dy by dx is the gradient of tangent. So therefore, let's find this. That will be 2ax minus 5 at the value of x is 2 has to be 7 because it is equal to this. Therefore, we can form another equation here to help us out. So replace, that'd be 2 times 2, that'd be 4a minus 5 is a value of 7. 4a is a value of 12, right? Therefore, a is a value of 3. Now b is a value of 4 times 3 minus 22, that should be 12 minus 22, that should be the value of minus 10. So therefore, here we go. We found the value of a and b already. A is a value of 3, b is a value of minus 10. Okay, so what is the main concept? So first thing first, because we do know they meet, we have to solve them simultaneously because they have a point in common. The x value and the y value have to be the same. That's the first step. And then using our knowledge of gradients, we understand that at this point right here, the gradient of the line is 7 according to my equation of a straight line. Therefore, at the same point, I understand that the gradient of the curve is also that value at that point. Now, gradient of the curve is dy by dx at the point. We have to find that and then equate to find the value of a, and then finally place it back in here to find the value of b. That's your question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So we have to solve this equation. So let's try. Let's see what happens. So first thing first, we can see that this and this and this are the same. So let's combine them together by sending them everything to one side. You will have log of 2x minus 1 plus log of x plus 2 and then plus log of 4 is a value of 2. Now, to solve this, we should know a few properties of logs. For example, if I tell you log of a plus log of b, you should know this is simply log of ab. If I say log of a minus log of b, we should also know it should be log of a divided by b. So using these concepts, let's simplify this over here. Now these are the same and same. That's why we can do that. That will be one big log. Here we have this. Plus become multiply e is 2. Now finally, what is log? Log is algae. Log is the base of 10. Right? Now let's say we have x here is equal to the value of a. I want to find the value of x, so what do? I have to send the base over here. So to find the value inside, I have to send the base over here. So x will be the value of 10 power a. So similarly, here I'll have 10. To find the value inside, I have to send this over here. Therefore, we have to break this down. That will become 4, 2x minus 1 times x plus 2. That will become 10 power 2, which is simply 100. Now, to simplify all this, we can divide by 4 on both sides. This will go away, and this will become 25. So you will have 2x times this, expand right. That should become x here plus 2 minus 1 times x plus 2 is equal to 25. So now we have this equation, and you can see already it will be a quadratic equation that we have to solve eventually. So simplify. That will be 2x plus 4x minus x minus 2 has to be the value of 25. Sorry, that's 0. Now 2x squared, simplify, that should become plus 3x minus 2, that should become minus 27. That will be 0. Now factorize. That will be 2x times x. Now 27 is what? We have to test. It is the value of 1 times 27 or 3 times 9. What else is it? That's pretty much it, right? Is there anything else we can use? I don't think so. Well, that should be pretty much it, yeah. Now we have to use probably this one to help us find the value of plus 3 by factorization. Now again, if you don't know how to factorize, you can always use your formula for quadratic equations. To get plus 3, I have to have plus 9 minus 6, right? 2x times minus 3 is minus 6. Plus 9 minus 6 will be plus 3. Now by confirmation, I have what? Plus here times minus will be minus. So here we have minus. So confirm, good to go. This is the right factorization. So x is the value of 9 minus 9 over 2. X is the value of 3. This is the value of minus 4.5, obviously. X is the value of 3. Now, whenever we're dealing with logs function, ln or logs, we have to check which one will be good, right? For example, if you were to plug this in here, minus 4.5 plus 2 is minus 2.5. And you know that log does not take negative values. That's why this will not be good. So your only answer will be x equal to 3 for question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. The line y equal to this. Okay, so we have a line here. Intersect meets, as you can see already, what do we have to do? We have to solve simultaneously, right, in this question. It means the curve this. At the point x equal to 2. Okay, find the value of k. So first thing first, because they meet, obviously this have to equal to this. So you have kx plus 6 have to be this one. Now we know this happens when x is 2, so let's replace the value of x by 2 in this equation. Let's see what happens. So you will have 2k plus 6, that will be 8, minus 16, plus the value of 6k plus 2. Now simplify. Of course, let me use my calculator. So 8 minus 16 plus 2, that will be minus 6. Plus 6k, that will be 2k plus 6. Let me send this here and this here. You will have 12 here, and that will be 4k. So finally, k is the value of 3. So finding the value of k will be 3 for 2 marks. Now let's move on. So we have to show that for this value of k, when k is 3, the line cuts the curve only once. So we have only one real root. So let's show this. Okay, so right now the curve equation with the value of k will be what? It is the value of y is equal to x power 3 minus 4, x power 2, k is 3, actually 9, x plus 2. This is my curve. Right. Now we have to show that because the line is this equation, obviously, y equal to, this k is 3x plus 6, right? Now we want to show that for this equation, it will cut at only one point right here. This is the only solution that we have. Of course, let's pretend we are solving again. So let me send everything to one side and see what happens. So again, here we go. So put everything back in here. You will have again x power 3 minus 4x squared plus 9x plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 6. Now x power 3 minus 4x squared plus 9, send this over here, become minus 6x. That should become minus 4 is 0. Okay, so now we have this equation to solve for the values of possible values of x, right? But now we know already that there's already one value of x that we know we can use. Now if I tell you x equal to 2 is a root, right? Then you can tell me, well, in that case I can send this over here. X minus 2 has to be a factor of my equation of this one. Therefore, in that case, I will try to find the other factors of my equation by long division, right? We have seen this before, but again, it is worded differently here, so don't panic. Obviously, use your method as you know. That should become x power 3 minus 4x power 2 minus 6x minus 4 divided by x minus 2. Now, we expect the remainder here to be 0 because it is a factor, so the remainder will be 0. So let's try. How would you make x become x cubed multiplied by x squared? Now this whole thing times this, you will have x cubed minus 2x squared. This will go away. Minus 4 plus 2 should be minus 2x squared. Now finally, how would you make x become minus 2x squared? So minus 2 first times x. Now this whole thing times this, you will have minus 2x squared plus 4x. This will go away. Now minus 6 minus 4 is minus 10x. And this will be minus 4 over here. Now how would you make this value over here become minus 10 times minus 10? That will become minus 10x plus 20. Something is off with my calculation here. There should be something is off. Okay, I see now what's off. This should be plus 6, right? So 9x minus 3 is plus, not minus 6. Okay, here you go. So that's the silly thing. Always be careful with the signs. So plus 6 minus 4 should be 2x minus 4. How would you make x become 2x multiplied by plus 2? And this whole thing times this will become 2x minus 4. So as you can see, we expect to get 0 here. So we have 0 eventually, because the remainder when you divide by a factor has to be 0. So now once you have this, we confirm that, well, this whole equation here is actually can also be expressed as what? As x minus 2 multiplied by this one plus 2. Now we know already for the first one is x is equal to 2 for the first root. How about this one? That will be x squared minus 2x plus 2. Now we have to try to solve this. So how do we show this does not give a root? Because we only care about only one, so only one root. How do you show that this doesn't have a root? We use the discriminant. So b squared minus 4ac. Let's find the sign of this thing. That should become 4 minus 4 times a times c. That become 4 minus 8. That should be minus 4. Now since the value of b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, we understand that there's no real roots. No real roots in this equation. Therefore, x equal to 2 is the only solution for this equation. So that's why it has only one root, right? Now, not to confuse you guys, what is b squared minus 4ac? It is a is here, this is b here, and this is c. So replace b squared minus 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 1 times c. So this is where the value comes from. Okay, so basically here, to show this have only one root, we have to first divide by long division, and then finding these two equations to solve. For the first one, obviously we know already. This one is a quadratic equation. Now to show that it has roots or no roots, we use the discriminant. And this is your question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. So we have to show the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So obviously proceed by one by one and see what happens. So here we have different base. So let me try to make them become the same base. How? By applying cross multiplication and then times each other. You will have cos of x 1 minus sin of x, and then cross multiply, you will have cos square of x, And then here you have plus 1 minus sin x times 1 minus sin x. Right? They're the same, right? Same thing. Now we can simplify and see what happens. So here you will have cos square of x, same thing. But here we can just expand, that will become 1. So again, these are the same, that will be square of this. So I can look at this as simply 1 minus sine x squared, right? Because it's the same. That will become plus 1 minus 2 sine x, and then plus the value of sine square x. This with the value of cos x, 1 minus sine x. Now simplify. Cos square x plus sine square x is a value of 1, right? We should know this. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 sine x over the value of cos x, 1 minus sine x. Now can you see already what's happening? Yes, we can factorize 2. You will have 2 here, 1 minus sine x over the value of cos x and 1 minus sine x. Therefore, these two will cancel out. So you will have just 2 over cos x, which is simply 2 sec x, because 1 over cos is sec x. Shown as required for question number 5A. Done. Now let's move on to part B, hence. So hence means using part 1, let's solve this equation. So basically this whole thing right here became this. So similarly, by comparison, this whole thing right here looks very similar to this one. The only exception is the value of x here is a value of theta over 2. That's the only exception, right? You can see. Same thing, but just only that has changed. So therefore we have what? This whole thing here will become 2 sec x is theta over 2 is equal to 8 cos square theta over 2. Right, so now we do know that, well, actually I don't want to work with that. It's kind of annoying to work with this because I don't like to rewrite this over and over again. Let me write y equal to this for now. So you will have 2 over cos of y is equal to 8 cos square of y, right? Now we can just simplify. This will become 1 and 4, and then cross multiply. You will have 1 over 4 here. That should become cos cube of y, right? So finally, to find the value of, so we have cos cube, so cos y will be cubic root of 1 over 4. So now we should know, well, when cos is positive, it is in the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. Now this is the value of y directly, y, and this is the value of 360 minus y. Okay, so let's try. So again, whenever it's positive, it's pretty easy, right? So y will be simply cos inverse of this value. So 1 divided by 4, cubic root of this value, there you go. Cos inverse in terms of degrees, that should become 50.9528. Now we know this is simply what? 51.0. Therefore, this is the first value, and let's find this value as well. So 360 minus 51. That'll be 309.0. So we have these two possible values for y. Okay, cool. Now, obviously, we don't care about y. We want to find the value of theta, right? So theta over 2, which is y, it is equal to 51 and 309. Now, we have to understand, well, because here, theta is between these two, what is the value of theta over 2? So divide by 2 between these two. That should become between the value of 180 and minus 180. Makes sense, right? So let's test and see what happens for these values. So we have to play around with these and see what happens, right? That's the main point. So let's play. So here we have 51, 309. Now I can try to add 360, or I can minus 360 to see if you have values on the other side. So let me first minus 360. And again, you have to play around. Again, so one more time, why am I doing this is because I do see that theta over 2 also lies on the negative side. Now I want to test if it is, actually have values on the negative side. You will see, right? Again, for example, let's try 51 minus 360. That will be the value of minus 309. Now 309 minus 360, value of minus 51. Okay, so we have these values. Now you can try to add as well, just in case. Obviously you will not, but why not? Plus 360, that'll be 411. And then 309 plus 360, that should be 669. So one more time, why did I minus 360 to these values? Is because when you have values on the negative side, we test. If you have something in the other revolution, why not, right? Now simplify. The value of theta will be what? Times 2. That should become times 2, 102, 309 times 2, minus 309 times 2, minus 102, and the rest obviously will be too much, right? 822 and 669 times 2, that should become 1338. So again, the reason why I do this is because I like to test to see if in case I have anything that I'm missing, right? Now, according to my question, it only have to be between those two. So this is too much, too much, too much, and too much. So finally, theta is a value of 102 and minus 102. Okay, of course you have to write angles correct to one decimal place, so 102.0 and minus 102.0 degrees. And this is your answer for question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. So the first 4 terms in this expansion, so we have this expansion right here, can be written in this form. So by using this knowledge, let's find the values of a, b, and c. So let's first pretend to expand this. You have 4, 2, 0, that'll be 3, and ax. That'll be 0 here, that should become the value of 4 here. Plus 4, choose 0, 1 here, 3, and ax. That'll be 1, that should become 4 minus 1 is 3. 4, choose 2, that should become 3 here, we'll have ax here, that should become 2 here, 4 minus 2 is 2. So first 4 terms, right? So let's one more time. So 4 choose 3, that should become 3 here, and ax, that is 3, that should be 1. Simplify. 4 choose 1 is what? 0 is 1. 3 power 4 is 81, that will be 1. Plus 4 here. 3 power 3, that will be 27. Ax. Plus 4 choose 2, that will be 6. 9 and a square, x square. Plus 4 choose 3, that will be 4 times 3 plus a power 3 x power 3. Now simplify, be careful with this, values 1 by 1. So that will become 81 plus, that will be 4 times 27, 108, ax. And then plus, that should become 6 times 9 will be what? 54, right? Let's check. 54 a square, x square, plus 12 a cube, x cube. So now we have these 4 terms. How do you solve this? By comparison, because you know these 4 terms have to equal to this, which is 81 plus bx plus cx square and plus 3 over 2 x cube. So let's compare this to. So we have 12 e cube has to be the value of 3 over 2. Therefore, you can say, well, obviously a cube has to be the value of what? Cross multiply, you have 3 over 24, which is 1 over 8. Therefore, a has to be the value of 1 over 2, because 1 over 8, cubic root of that value will be 1 over 2. So a is the value of half. Now replace, that will be 108 times a, which is 1 over 2, has to be b. Therefore, b is a value of, that'll be 54. Here you go. Now last one. Here we have this one. By comparison, c has to be this one. So c is a value of 54a squared, which is 1 over 4. C has to be what value? 13.5. Okay, here you go. So we have the values of A, B, and C for this question. Question number 6 done. Let's then move on to question number 7. So given that we have this, we have to find this. So of course, first using this one, let's see what can we derive. Now I think we have a formula given to you about how can we break this down. For example, we should know n choose all. For example, n choose, it is given to you by on the list, which is given to you by n factorial over the value of all factorial n minus all factorial. So use that, break it down, and then find the value of this one. So basically first aim to find the value of n, and then eventually just use your calculator to find this. Now here we have n choose 4. What is that? N choose 4. By comparison, n is n, all is 4 here. Now become n factorial over the value of 4 factorial. That should be n is n minus 4 factorial. How about this one? N choose 2. N choose 2. All is a value of 2. So again, one more time, you have n factorial over 2 factorial, and then we have n minus 2 factorial. Now replace back in the main equation, you will have n factorial over the value of 4 factorial here. That'll be n minus 4 factorial is equal to 13 times n factorial over 2 factorial n minus 2 factorial. Now simplify. So here we have a few things we can simplify. These two will go away. Right. And then what about these two? So what is 4 factorial? 4 factorial is the value of 24. So that become 24 here. That'll be 2. So we can simplify. 2 go away. That should become 12. Okay. And then we can just cross multiply, send this here and this here. So you have n minus 2 factorial over the value of n minus 4 factorial is equal to 12 times 13. That'll become 156. So now we have to simplify this. Now to simplify this, we have to understand what does factorial mean, right? Usually we have done this for permutation question, but anyways, not a big deal. If I tell you what is 4 factorial, you will tell me what 4 factorial is a value of 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is also 4 times 3 factorial, right? Which is also, you can say, 4 times 3 times 2 factorial. You get the idea. Now, how can you break this down? If I say n minus 2 factorial, you can tell me this is n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4 factorial, right? You can see every time you just minus 1. So 4 here, same thing as here, same. And then times 3, which is 4 minus 1. So this minus 1 is this. And then remaining will be, as you can see, this will be the last one remaining over here. So plug this back in here, you will have this whole thing will become, on top you will have n minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4 factorial over n minus 4 factorial is equal to 156. Now these two will go away. Now expand and see what happens. This should become n squared minus 3n minus 2n plus 6 is the value of 156. Send everything to one side, you will have n squared minus 5n minus the value of 150 have to be 0. Now you can try to solve using factorization. That should be factorized, or you can use your formula, but because it is always a quadratic equation, you can use a formula if you want to. N squared is n times 1, n times n, sorry. 150 is 15 times 10. To get minus 5, I have to have minus 15 plus 10. So n will be minus 10, or n will be the value of 15. So obviously, n here cannot be negative, so this is not good. So n can only be the value of 15. So once you find n, therefore, we can just plug this back in here. We have to find 15 combination 8. That will be 6435 as your answer for question number 7. Now let's move on to question number 8. So here we have a particle A starts from a point with a position vector this is the initial position, okay, and it travels with the speed of this. So here you have speed, we don't have velocity, so speed is this in the direction vector of this. So find the position of A after t seconds. So pretty simple. We have the initial position, we just have to find the velocity in this direction, which is what? Which is, we have to find the unit vector of this, which is 12, 5, divided by 12 squared is 144, plus 25. That will be all this over the value of 13. Now multiply by 26 to find the velocity. That should become 2. That should become the value of 24 and 10. So this is the velocity. So finally, to find the position of A, we have to first start from the initial position, which is 3 minus 2. Then the time taken will be here, t, times the velocity. So this is your answer for question part A. Done. Now let's move on to part B. So at the same time, we have a particle B starting from this point. So initial position is this one here for B. It travels with the speed of this, so speed at an angle of alpha above the positive x-axis, where tan of this is this. So find the position vector of B after t seconds. So again, it's well, same process. So we have to just kind of use our knowledge here. So here we have, for example, right, let's say this is the axis, x-axis here, and y-axis. So tan, of course, you should know, tan is what? Tan is opposite side over A side. You get the idea, right? So this will be 4 here, 3 for example, so it will be in this direction. This is the value of 4 and 3. So finally, we have to find this direction, right? So what is the direction, velocity? So by using the Pythagoras theorem, you can say, well, obviously, this will become, call this one x, for example. I mean, yeah, why not? That should be x squared. Should be 4 squared plus 3 squared. X squared is the value of 25. X is the value of 5. Therefore, this direction, the velocity is 5. Velocity, that should be 5 meters per. And it's not velocity actually, I apologize. We are trying to find the velocity here, but we are using the vector here, it is 4 and 3. So we have to divide by, again, what is the unit vector in this direction? Should be. So this, again, the side here is 5, so that's the main point, right? This is the direction in which we're traveling. Cool. Now, basically, let me try to kind of rephrase this whole thing, because it is very similar to this question. Let me write this in this way, because I don't want to confuse you guys with all this stuff for most of you guys, right? Now, what did I do here? I just found this value 5. Now, what does find mean? For example, this whole thing just means speed of 20. So this is the same, speed of 20. Now we have to find the direction vector. The direction vector has been given to you, right? We can see that it is, according to this, it is 4 and 3, and therefore direction vector is 4 and 3. Now we have found, basically, we have to find the position vector after time t. So usually what do we do? Again, by using this, we have derived this, and from this we have derived the unit vector as well. But anyways, let's proceed with what we have here. So let me rewrite the question. The main point is this one gave us this value. You can forget about this for now. The idea is when you have this, we can derive this triangle to know that this is the direction in which we are moving, 4 and 3. Now you can see here we have This is the position, this is the speed, and this is the direction. Similarly, now we have, this is the initial position, this is the speed, and this is the direction. So therefore we can say, well, in this case we can find the velocity by using this 4/3 divided by 5, which is the value of 4 square plus 9, right? That should become this whole thing over 5 times the speed given to you. That should become 4 here, and now we have the velocity. That should become 16 and 12. Okay, so finally we have what? Once you have this, follow the same steps over here. The position of B is the initial position, which is 64 minus 18 plus t times the velocity. Here you go. Okay, so not to confuse you guys again, you can forget about this if you want to, not a big deal, because the main point here is that what is tan theta of 3/4? We are trying to know the direction. Direction is simply when you use the right angle triangle, we understand it moves from 4 here and 3 here. It will go in this direction. Now this direction vector is simply expressed by this thing right here. So once you have this, we have the position, we have the velocity, speed, we can find the velocity by using that equation. This divided by its magnitude times the speed to get this. So once you have this, similarly, right, bring this back in the same equation to find the position of B after t minutes, t seconds. Hence, so finally we have to find the time, so find t at which they meet. Okay, so let's find this. So in part 1 we realize the position of A is given to you by 3 plus 24t and minus 2 plus 10t. And the position of B from part B has been given to you by 67 plus 16t, right? And then we have A minus 18 plus 12t from part B. Now if they meet, their position have to be the same. Therefore we have these two have to be equal. 3 plus 24t have to equal to 67 plus 16t. And minus 2 plus 10t have to be minus 18 plus 12t. So let's solve and see if they are actually they are the same. So send this over here will become what? 24 minus 16 will be 8t is a value of 67 minus 3, 64. So t should be the value of 8. Now let's test for the other value. So minus 2 plus 10 times 8 is what? The value of minus 2 plus 80 is a value of 78. Check for this one. Minus 18 plus 12 times 8, that will become minus 18. What is 12 times 8? That will be 96. So minus 18 plus 96, that should be 78 as well. So confirm for this value of t, they actually are good to go. Therefore the time is t 8 seconds. They meet after 8 seconds. So actually I forgot to do something here. So once you find the value of t is 8, you have to plug this back in this one or this one to find the position, right? So here we have to also find the position of the point. So plug this here. So you have the position will be 3 plus this one. So 3 plus 24 times 8, that will be 195 and 78 for the value, for the position. So this is the position vector that we also have to find for the question. Okay, cool. This is the answer for question number 8. Here we go, question number 9. So here we have why is this. This is quite long, I believe, so let's try to explain this as simple as possible. So first thing first, we have to find dy by dx. So this one is a product, this times this. So you have to use the product rule. That will be kx times minus 2 exponential minus 2x plus exponential minus 2x times k. Simplify. We can have what? We can factorize the values of k outside and exponential minus 2x. You will have the minus 2 x, and here we have plus 1. This is the value of dy by dx. Done. Now for part B, we have to do what? Find the coordinates of the stationary point of this one. So from the first question, we had y equal to k x exponential minus 2x. So the only difference here is the value of k has been replaced by the value of 10 by comparison. Therefore, we understand if you were to perform dy by dx for this one, you will have just 10 exponential minus 2x, and then we have minus 2x plus 1 for dy by dx. Now to find the stationary point, we have to equate that to 0, because we know at this value here, always going to be the case, which is dy by dx have to be 0. Therefore, we can solve. That will become minus 2x plus 1 is 0. X is the value of half. Now this one is, we can test, right? 10 exponential minus 2 is 0. Therefore, you will say, well, this one is 0. And this one will be the value of ln of 0, which is not possible. You can check. Ln of 0, not possible. Therefore, we have only one answer of x for your stationary point. Now you have to find the corresponding value of y. So we place back in your main equation here, you have 10 times half will be 5. Exponential minus 2 times half will be minus 1. That'll be 5 over exponential. Therefore, the point will be the point half and 5 over exponential for the stationary point, part B. Now, using your answer in part A, we have to solve this. So let's try to solve this. So one by one. Part A, we had what? We had y, differentiation of k x exponential minus 2x gave us the value of, we had the value of minus 2 kx exponential of minus 2x plus k exponential of minus 2x. So this is what in part 1 we had, right? This one. Now we have to use that to find this. So how can we find this? Of course, we understand that the integration is a reverse process of differentiation, so we have to use that theory to solve this. So basically, if you were to integrate this whole thing right here, minus 2 kx exponential minus 2x plus k exponential this one, you're supposed to get back the same thing, which is kx exponential minus 2x. So that's the idea behind this question. Now, of course, we don't know the value of k, but we have to compare. By comparison, here we have x, this one. So here we have minus 2, this one. So can we do something about this? Yeah, well, yes, we can kind of play around and see what happens. Now, okay, first thing first, let's play with this. We can break this down. This will become, the first one is minus 2, this one, kx exponential this one. Here we have dx here, then plus k exponential this one dx is equal to kx this one. Now this one is pretty simple. We should know how to solve this. It's the value of exponential minus 2x divided by minus 2, but here we have k, this is only a multiple, so it will become minus k over 2 exponential minus 2x. So finally, here we have minus 2, this one, kx exponential minus 2x dx is equal to k x exponential minus 2x. Send this over here, become plus k over 2 exponential minus 2x. Now, obviously, we can, by comparison, we want to solve this where this is the same, where k is a value of 4, right? So you have minus 2, 4x exponential this one and this one. That should be 4x exponential of minus 2x plus 2 exponential this one. Now this is send this over here because it's minus 2. So finally, this will become the value of minus 2x exponential this one minus this one. Here you go. This is your value of this is this. Well, I guess the main point is using that thing, play with this, break it down step by step, and then we have to compare. I'm trying to solve this, so therefore here the k value has to be equal to 4 for this to be possible. So put 4 here and then replace k by 4 everywhere. You will have this equation. Now to make this one become subject, I have to divide by -2 everywhere. That's why I have this on this side. And this is your answer for question part C. Now for part D, find the exact value of this. So we have to, basically, this is this. So we have to replace 1 and 0 in this integral. That will be -2 x exponential this one minus this with limits of 1 and 0. Let's see what happens. That should become the value of -2 exponential -2 minus exponential -2 minus 0 minus exponential 0. That should become what? -3 exponential -2, right? And then minus, that should become the value of -1. So you will have the value of 1 because it's become plus, right? 1 minus 3 over exponential square. Or you can write 1 minus 3 exponential -2 as your answer for your question for the exact value of this integral. Okay, so this is your question number 9, right? Number 9, which is quite long, but the main point here is we use the theory of integration is a reverse process of differentiation, and then break it down step by step to find the required value. Now let's move on to question number 10. So here we have to do what? So here we have the third term. The third term, so T3 of an AP is given to you by 3. And the sum of the first A term is given to you by 116. Perfect. So find the value of A, which is the first term, and D, which is the common difference. Now, of course, once you know it is an AP, we have to list down the formulas we know for this kind of progression. So the nth term is given to you by what? By the formula A plus n minus 1 times d. Sum of the first n term is given to you by half n 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So using these formulas, we can help to find the value of a and d as required. First one, Tn, n is 3 here. That should become 3 is equal to a, we don't know, n is 3, that will become 2d. Equation number 1. This one, sum of the first n term will be 116, n is the value of 8 here. That will be 4, 2a plus 7d. Divide by 4, that will become 29 is 2a plus 7d. So now we have these two equations we have to solve simultaneously to find the values of a and d. So first one, let's make a become subject. That will become 3 minus 2d. Replace back in here, you will have 29. 2 times this will become 6 minus 40 plus 70. Send this over here, become 23, and that will become the value of 3d. Is that right? 23 seems to be quite off for me. Let me try again, because usually we tend to have exact values. So let me see where I may have made a mistake here. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. I see the mistake already. Tn, the term is actually 10, not 3. Here you go. So it should be 10 over here. Silly mistake. I miscopied the main value. Okay, anyways, let's move on. So you can see experience tell you that usually the value of a and d will have to be exact in exams. So therefore, I saw this. I was like, oh, maybe not. That's not the right answer. So let me try again. So a have to be the value of 10 minus 2d. Replace you have 29 is equal to the value of 2 times a will be 20 minus 40 plus 70. That will be the value of 9 is equal to the value of 3d. Therefore, d is the value of 3. So here you go. It is exact, right? And then the value of a will have to be 10 minus 6, have to be 4. Okay. So finally, a is the value of 4, and d is the value of 3. And that's your answer for question part A. Let's move on to part B now. So we have to find the sum of the 19 terms of progression starting from the 12th term. So my first step will be to find what is the 12th term, t of 12. So you will say, well, a is a value of 4, d is a value of 3. So let's find this. T of 12, when n is 12, that should become, which is a 4, plus n, which is minus 1 is 11, times 3. That will be 4, plus 33, that will be 37. Okay, this is a value of 12th term. Now, starting from the 12th term, so basically this is my first term now. This is my first term now, right? If I'm starting from this, now I understand this is my first term. Now next one will be plus d, plus 3, that should become 40. Next one should be 43, 46. So now if you want to really, you can always add 3, keep going on for 19th term. If you want to do that, it's up to you. But of course, we can use our formula directly, but with the new progression, right? The new progression is, first term is 37, and common difference is 3. We have to find the sum of the first 19 terms. There you go. So that should become 19 terms. Of course, using a formula, that should become half, right? Half the value of n, which is the value of 19, times 2a. 2 times a will be this one. So 2 times 37 will be 74. Plus n minus 1 is the value of 18, times d is the value of 3. Okay, so we have half times 19 times 74 plus 3 times 18. That should become 1216. Let's simplify one more time. So 74 plus 18 times 3 will be this, times the value of 2, not 0.5, sorry, times 19. Okay, so to confirm, the first of the 19 terms starting from the 12th term should be this one. Okay, so instead of trying to really find the difference between this sum of the first whatever term, let me try to create a whole new progression with the first term as the 12th term, and then we find the sum of the first 19th term as required. This is your question number 10. Now let's move on to question number 11. So here we have to deal with vectors here. Okay. So in this vector diagram, we have OP is 2a, 2. We have SR is 5a. So SR here is 5a. All right. OS is 3b. OS is right here. And then we have Q as b. Okay. So we have these values given to you. So what can we do with this? So part 1, given that Px is equal to this, write OX in the form of this. Okay. So let's break it down. We have Px. What is Px? Px is simply OX minus OP. Okay. So we always take this second one minus the first one. Or you can use the diagram. What is Px? P going to X, you will say, well, in that case, starting from P, I can go to O, and then O go to X. Makes sense, right? Again, you can always use the diagram to help you out how to break this down. P going to X, you can say, well, in that case, I have to go from P, go to O, or go to X. That's the other way. Lambda, PS is what? PS, that should be similarly OS minus OP. Now simplify, OX we don't know, minus OP, OP is 2a, lambda times OS, OS with 3b, minus 2a. Now finally, OX is the value of 3b lambda minus 2a lambda plus 2a. Now simplify, that should become the value of 2a minus 2a lambda plus 3b lambda. Simplify if you want to, that should become 2 minus 2 lambda factorize a plus 3 lambda b. This is your value of OX in terms of a, b, and lambda. Okay, so one more time, if you don't know how to just like break this down, you can always use a diagram to find this. For example, how do you find Px? From P, go to X. So you will say, well, from P, I can first go to O, so PO. and then from O going to X. Now PO, now we know OP is 2A. Now PO will be in the inverse direction, that should be minus 2A. As you can see, we have this over here. Now similarly, you can use the same method to find this and then expand as well, up to you. Now for part B, given that we have this, OX is mu times OQ, write OX in the form of this. So what is OQ? OQ from O going to Q. So by observation, from O going to Q, I can go from where? I can do O going to P if I want to, and then P going to L. Well, it's not going to work out because I don't have anything here. Let me use something else. Again, the point is, I will solve this by using the diagram to help me out. From O, I can first go to S. And then from S, I can go to R, right? And then from R, I can go to Q. So finally, O, Q has been found. So OS is the value of 3B. SR is 5A. Now, RQ is minus B because this is because QR is in this direction, RQ is in the opposite direction. That should become 5A. That should become plus the value of 2B. Now, finally, let's replace. You will have the value of OX. Mu is mu times OQ is 5A plus 2B. Now, if you want to expand, no problem. That should be 5 mu A plus 2 mu B for the value of OX one more time. So once you have this, hence find the values of mu and lambda. How? Because in equation in part A, we have found that OX is a value of 2 minus 2 lambda A plus 3 lambda B. And in the equation in part B, we have found OX is equal to 5 mu A plus 2 mu B. Now obviously we understand that OX is the same as OX, so therefore they're the same thing. We can have this equation, which is 2 minus this one A plus 3, this one have to equal to 5 mu A, this one B, because they're the same thing, right? OX is the same thing. Now, let's solve. How do we solve this? By we equating the coefficient of A or B. So here we have, before A we have this, and before A we have this, so we have this equation 2 minus 2 lambda here, sorry, is equal to 5 mu, or 3 lambda has to be the value of 2 mu. Simplify. Mu, so lambda is the value of 2, mu over 3. Now replace this back in here, you will have what? 2 minus 2 times this will become 4 mu over 3 is equal to 5 mu. Now times everything by 3, that will become the value of 6 minus 4 mu is equal to the value of 15 mu. Now simplify, that will become the value of 6 is equal to 90 mu. So mu is the value of 6 over 19. So let's check one more time. So if I were to send this over here, you have 5 plus 4 over 3. And then mu will be 2 divided by answer. That should become 6 over 19. Perfect. So mu is this. So let's find the value of lambda. Replace back in here. That become 2 over 3 times answer. That become 4 over 19. Let's check one more time. So mu is 6 over 19. 2 times answer divided by 3. Yep, confirm this is the right answer for question part C for these two values of mu and lambda. So once you have this, write down the values of this. Pretty simple, using using equation from part B. Part B, it is given to you that OX is equal to mu OQ, right? That's from part B. It is given to you right here. So let's use that. So basically OX, we have OX here. Mu is a value of 6 over 19 OQ. Now to find this ratio, which is divided by OQ everywhere, you will have OX for OQ has to be 6 over 19. Makes sense, right? Just by using cross multiplication, send this over here. So you will have this as subject is equal to 6 over 19 for 1 mark. Now to find this one, let's use what we have before. We had what? Px from part A. Px is the value of lambda ps. Now px is px for now. Lambda was found to be 4 over 19 ps. Now we can use the diagram to help us out. As you can see, here we have pxs, that's the straight line. Now, we know that the ratio of px is 4 over 19 ps. Basically, ps, the large one, the big one, is the base, the 19, right? You can see here, ps is the 19 one, px is 4 over 19 is 4, right? Px will be 4. In that case, you can conclude that the value of Sx is what? 19 minus 4 is the value of 15. Therefore, the ratio of Px over Xx, so Px is what? 4 over 15. So finally, the ratio will be of Px over Xx will be the value of 4 over 15. Okay, so again, one more time, I use the straight line given to you, P, S, and X. So at first we had what? At first, by using the value of lambda, we realized that Px is 4 over 19, so Px, Ps, the whole thing will be 19. Using these two values, what is the value of Sx? So of course, by using subtraction, 19 minus 4 is 15. So therefore, I can see these ratios pretty easily, right? In that case, you will use Px is 4 over Xx is 15. So therefore, it will be 4 over 15 as your answer for part E of your question. And that is your question number 11.